Hey, boys and girls, I wanted to share a short story that I actually did not too long ago, um, written on the 31st of January, believe it or not. It's called Wiccan in the Classroom. Um, I write short stories, and I hope to one day be a publisher of short stories for children in the Wiccan path. There was once a little girl named Snowbright, and a little boy named Sunkeeper. They were brother and sister, and Snowbright was a happy and talented little 7-year-old, and her brother Sunkeeper was a joyous and sneaky little 9-year-old. Both attended the same elementary school, but sadly were in two different classes. Snowbright loved her teacher, Miss Luna, who was from Italy. She was a perky woman who made learning so much fun for her. She taught her class about numbers, how to read, how to write, and about the natural world around them in science class. Snowbright just loved, loved, loved going to school to see Miss Luna every morning. Sunskeeper, however, was not so lucky. Um, he didn't like Mr. Rupert, who seemed to yell at him all the time about the little star that hung around his neck. "You take that devil symbol off your neck, young man, right this minute," he'd yell. But, 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 Mr. Rupert, Sunkeeper would start. "No buts," Mr. Rupert would say sternly. This is why Sunkeeper wasn't very fond of Mr. Rupert. See, though, that Mr. Rupert is not a bad man. He's a very loving father, very caring husband, a very faith-filled man who goes to church every Sunday. He does not understand or know about Sunkeeper's faith. He thinks the little star is the symbol of evil and the devil. The kids began taunting Sunkeeper, and at recess started taunting Snowbright as well. They would yell at them, devil's kids, and "You'll burn in hell." After several months of this, and feeling singled out by the kids who taunted him and his sister, Sunkeeper finally went to his mother and father and told them. He cried in his mother's arms while his father was in an outrage. His dad paced back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, finally coming to a stop. "I will go and have a talk with both teachers and the principal of this school," his father said. "They need to be educated that this is not okay to say such cruel things." This made Sunkeeper feel much better. Snowbright, who was standing around the corner, gave a very heavy sigh of relief to know that she was not going to be picked on anymore. The following day, as their father had said, he went to the school during his children's lunch with his wife hot on his heels. The principal, Miss Luna, and Mr. Rupert were all waiting for them in the main office in a little room. "Please come in, Mr. and Miss Swade," said the principal. "We've been waiting for you." Together they found their seats across from the teachers and sat with a few books and pamphlets. "So it has come to my attention that the teachers here have not been kind to your children, and neither have the other children in their classes," stated the principal. "The children tell us that they're being picked on every day during their recess," said Miss Swade. "Oh my!" exclaimed Miss Luna. "I wish Snowbright would have said something to me." "She can be rather shy sometimes," replied Miss Swade. "The main reason we are here is our son's keeper," Mr. Swade chimed in. "Oh?" asked the principal. "I understand he has had some issues of late, listening to his teacher, Mr. Rupert, here. It was brought to our attention that Mr. Rupert was telling our son that he wore the devil's mark around his necklace," said Mr. Swade. "He is. That child has devil written all over him," cried out Mr. Rupert. "Well, now, that's enough of that," exclaimed the principal in a very angry tone. "None of the children in this school are of the devil, Mr. Rupert, and I would kindly ask you to keep such negative comments to yourself." "I see that our son is telling the truth," Miss Wade said to Mr. Swade in a low whisper. "We have brought some reading material to educate Mr. Rupert here on what a Wiccan is," Mr. Swade stated firmly. "Wiccan?" asked Miss Luna. "What is that, if I may ask?" "Wicca is a nature-based religion that honors a male and female deity," Miss Swade said very calmly. "We practice no harm against anyone." "It is the devil in disguise," Mr. Rupert blurted. "We do not believe in a devil, sir," Mr. Swade said. "You do not know much about our faith, do you?" "No, I do not. The Bible tells me what I need to know about people like you, and that's all I need." Mr. Rupert said firmly. Well, tell us what you actually know about people like us, Miss Swade said casually. You eat children and you sacrifice babies and animals. I have half a mind to call Child Protective Services on you both for forcing your children to practice such a dangerous cult, said Mr. Rupert. Mr. and Miss Swade laughed. Sir, we do not eat children, Miss Swade said, still chuckling. We honor a loving mother who, like any, can be a little cruel, but does not want us to eat children. Live and let to live is what we practice, dear. We do not sacrifice children or animals either, Mr. Swade said, stepping into the conversation. We sacrifice the bad habits and negative parts of ourselves so that we may better ourselves and those around us. Our children are still early in their studies of Wicca, too, said Miss Wade, taking over again. They learn with several other children about their ages from teachers no different than yourselves. Sun's Keeper is getting ready to come of age in the next few years and chose to learn himself. We have not forced our children to learn our faith. That is their choice and theirs alone. We also are not a dangerous cult, Mr. Swade said, stepping up once again. We are trying to live with the earth, and we respect her for what she has given us. We let people come to us as their path pulls them. No one who practices with us is there against their will. Well, you use daggers and swords, and according to your son, there are fights twice a year, Mr. Rupert retorted. With a chuckle, Miss Swade said, Yes, that is true. We do not let the children handle these items, though. The dagger you are referring to is the athame, also known as the athame. It is a ritual blade in which energy is directed. The blade does not come in contact with the flesh. It is not intended by any means to cause harm to other individuals. The sword is for outside only, and the children also know not to touch this as well. And as in the case of the athame, it too is not intended for harm, only energy direction. The battles you were referring to are at the summer and the winter solstice. This is when the Holly King and the Oak King battle. The Holly King represents the sun weakening in strength, and the Oak King where the sun is actually gaining in strength. The battle twice a year is when the sun is at its peak of strength as well as its weakness. That is so fascinating, Miss Luna chimed in. These are times of great celebration, Mr. Swade said. Mr. Rupert remained quiet, watching. Mr. Rupert, we have a few books and pamphlets that are rather short and easy to read. They offer basic understanding of our faith and what we actually really are about, Mr. Swade stated. I would love to have one of those pamphlets in a book, too, if you don't mind, Miss Luna said casually. Absolutely, Miss Swade exclaimed. They passed the books and pamphlets to the teachers and sat quietly for a moment, watching the teachers as they thumbed through the pamphlets and the books. The principal was the first to speak. Well, I hope this clears up the matter, Mr. Rupert. Miss Luna, you can go back to teaching your classes. I want to hear no more about the bullying of these fine people's children. Mr. Rupert, no more Bible in the classroom. There's a separation of church and state for a reason, so let us keep it that way. You are lucky you do not lose your job over this. A few months go by, and there's no problems. One day, Mr. Rupert pulls Sun's Keeper off to the side and hands him the books and the pamphlets that his parents gave him. Son, I would like to apologize to you, Sun's Keeper. I didn't realize how loving your faith is. It is not my faith, but I respect you for following your heart and keeping the message of love in everything you do. Make sure these books get back to your folks, all right? Yes, sir, said Sun's Keeper happily. Sir, I knew you weren't a bad person. Many people do not understand my faith, just as many do not yours. I am glad you have learned from this experience. As what my teachers tell me, learning is a never-ending experience. Mr. Rupert smiled and patted Sun's Keeper on the head and said, That's very true, and never forget it. Miss Luna also surprised Snow Bright on this day. She came dressed up in a beautiful moon goddess outfit. Today, class, we're going to talk about tolerance and bullying. I have requested many guest speakers to arrive today, and I hope you give them your full attention, she said cheerfully. As she walked by Snow Bright's desk, she sat the books down. You make sure these go back to your parents and let them know that I'll see them on Saturday. Snow Bright smiled. It was going to be a good year this year. Mr. Rupert's class joined Miss Luna's later that day. The guests came in, and each was a different race and religion. The kids learned much that day, and everything went smoothly for both Snow Bright and Sunskeeper for the rest of the year. The children who originally picked on them stopped. Miss Luna was in Snow Bright's life for the next several years until she graduated. They all had a joyous school experience. So you see, school can be a little bumpy when you are different. Whether it's the color of your skin, your faith, or where you grow up, how much money you have, or anything else. When you keep love in your heart and your friends and family close, you can overcome any obstacle. Remember to live and let live, keep your family close, and always keep love in your heart. I hope you all enjoyed this little short story that I wrote, and please feel free to leave comments below. This is Lady Silvervixen signing out.